that there's a trade that it's not official yet, but it's all been done. I guess you gotta wait to see how physicals and all that stuff go. But Porzingis is gonna end up being a Hawk. Man, what's your initial thoughts on that, man?
So I'm looking at that. I don't have the specifics. Are they giving up a first round pick for him?
No, I don't think it's the first round, but I get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, as long as it's not a first.
Yeah. I don't think it is.
Yeah, as long as it's not a first round, yeah.
It's a three-way. It's actually a three-way trade. So,
okay.
Brooklyn's involved, Atlanta's involved, and Boston's involved. It's like a three-way.
Okay.
So there's some stuff moving around, But go ahead. Just on the thoughts of just him being on that team, and we're assuming that he's coming to the Hawks and he's staying on the Hawks. So. Go with that.
Yeah, just another point. Finally give him somebody with some offensive skill, a little bit of offensive skill set, somebody else that can score the ball, a big guy. And, just to move, do something, you just can't sit around and not do anything when you got somebody like Trae. You got to give him some kind of help. You know what I'm saying? You got to put pieces around him. You got to draft guys. I don't think they, they've drafted all right. I don't think what's his name, Ariza Shea was a bad pick. So you go through and you start adding people, but like it's at the point now. It's kind of like that. Either you're gonna add somebody to him, get him some help, or you're gonna let him go. But a healthy Porzingis is he's a what they call him, the unicorn. That was his nickname at one time. So he has the ability and the potential to be able to do certain things. So to be able to add somebody, like I said, with some offensive diversity and somebody else that can score the ball, plus somebody that can get you some rebounds. The only question about him, and we talked about it a little bit, is his health. How healthy is he going to be? And how out of an 82 game season, how many games are you going to be able to depend on him? You need him for, you need him for like the 65, whatever the minimum is. I think you're going to lose him for a few games, but just not big stretches. And they still need something else. He still needs more help. But at least this is the right move, a move in the right direction. Or some move, you know what I'm saying? I remember I had a supervisor. Hey, he said, do something, even if it's wrong.
Hey, man. And I like that adage there, do something. And that's what the Hawks have to do, man. They got to do something. I like what they did prior to this. They moved on for Capella. Like, Capella really just wasn't there. You know what I mean? Just wasn't really there. And so they moved on. They're not holding on to him too long. They're letting it ride. And replacing Capella with KP, that alone is an upgrade for the Hawks. I like that, KP, his style of play, it fits Trae Young. He's not a ball-dominant big, but he is a big that can stretch the floor, and he can shoot from three. That's his game, basically. So that fits with Trae Young. And when you build your team around your star player, you got to put the type of players that fit around him too. And that's why I like that move.
Somebody on there says they got Jalen Johnson. You got what's his name too? So you got a defensive guy in Dyson. That kind of helps Trae. He won't just be defensive liability. Yeah, Johnson is a good, is a is a good player. So they got you start adding guys, man. But you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start doing something. And I think that you had put one on there a couple weeks ago. That move for Giannis. I think, like I say, man, I think they gotta. We see that KD, he's moved.
Yeah.
And it's the East. You got to look at the East now too, man. Halliburton is probably going to miss most of the season. All these guys with these Achilles.
Dame.
So you got Dame, Tatum, and now Halliburton.
Right.
So
players.
And then New York fires their coach. So everybody that was kind of at the top is in a little bit of a disarray. So you got your coach that you want. You got your star player that you want. You need to put some people around them and make a push for it.
Well, I'm with it, man. And no time better than now to make that move. Trae Young is in his prime. He's been around for seasons now. Hell, they made a conference final one time under Trae Young. So, it can be done. And this is just the beginnings. Like you said, you gotta add another big. Like, if the Hawks, if you don't do anything else, if you're Atlanta, continue finding people that are 6'11" and up. The Atlanta Hawks have had enough players 6'7" and below to last for a lifetime. It's time to get these big guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So get them.
Yeah.
Go find another. Find a wide body now. Find somebody that can get some boards now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like you say, just start piecing your team together. Start putting some help around the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, he can give. He led the league in assists this year. You know what I'm saying? And and he was giving you 24, almost 25 points a game, 24 something a game. So it's like he can do the job. And then and then it's like people want to call him overrated and all that. It's like, come on, man, stop it.
No.
He's he does what anybody does that's on the team that doesn't have any other options. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes a lot of shots because he doesn't have anybody that he can get a ball to. Nobody else can create their own shot. And that, like I said, that's the one thing that Porzingis will be able to bring to you is he can make his own shot. And again, like you need to add some other guys. There are guys out there. There's some free agent pieces that were out there, and then you got guys that are the rumors. They had the rumors about KD wanting to move. You got the rumors about Giannis wanting to move. You even got the rumors about LeBron. It's guys that are movable pieces.
Well, look. They're still. I'm glad they're jumping on now and making moves. And this is before the draft, so now you can go into the draft too with your game plan. Maybe you get the guy from Duke, the big man from Duke. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. If nothing else, he can develop. Coming off your bench, but you got more size. Keep getting size on this team. That's what you're gonna need in the postseason. I think the Hawks have a nice group of perimeter players. But when is it?
Yeah,
when are you gonna be able to get down and dirty when you need to?
Yeah, you got to be able to get somebody that can grab some boards. And we look at these other teams that are here. You know what? I think Miles Turner is up for. He's up to be. I think he's a free agent. So he's somebody that could be put on your radar.
Mm-hmm.
It's guys out there, man. It's people out there. It's guys that are out there, and you just have to make up your mind what you're gonna do and go do it. You know, as good as OKC is, and you kind of look in the West, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they're kind of establishing themselves, but everybody else, man, the East, like I said, the East is open, and so
Yeah.
you just go ahead and you take advantage while you can.
Well, yeah, and then also you want to match up with when you're speaking the East. You do still want to match up with, what Cleveland got with Mobley up front. Look at what OKC, the champions. They went and got Hartenstein. You know what I'm saying? And between Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, they had size up front.
Mm-hmm.
So you need some of that. If you have to face the Mavericks, you know what they have up front. So you need that to complement your perimeter offensive players. And I love this move, man. I mean, it's not a move that makes you a champion and all that, but it's a move that it can put you in that type of position where maybe, just maybe, another player want to come. And because they see what's going on, they're like, hey, I can go right there and I can help push this over the edge. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And it shows Trae Young that the Hawks are serious about trying to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? And in doing so, the Hawks will make money. The organization, the fan base is actually a pretty good fan base. The ones that are loyal to the Hawks, it's a good fan base. We could talk about the city and the state, and it's a whole different thing. But just the overall fan base in Atlanta is pretty good. The home games are pretty Hawks friendly. It's all about the Hawks, except when they play like the Lakers, man. But it is a great place, man. And we've been waiting for them to really take off since the days of
Yeah, I think I think that's the thing too, man. If you show the people that you, that's the thing too, man. If you show the people that you're willing to do something, you'll get more of that. But if it's the same old song and dance and you're not doing anything, then it's kind of hard to tell people, hey,